Caitlin Clark knew exactly how Angel Reese was going to react to this.
The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory.
And going in on the Chicago Sky.
They're not going to be pushed around anymore. Even in the midst of all the talk yesterday, you have a Sophie Cunningham, you have a Natasha Howard, and you have a DeWanna Bonner. There's a level of credibility. There's a level of toughness.
Caitlin Clark, in the post-game interview, she made it a point to say, this is not please don't blow this out of proportion.
Just moments ago, the entire WNBA world held its breath. The Indiana Fever had barely sealed their explosive win when DeWanna Bonner lit a match and set the internet on fire.
She currently funked herself with Charlotte Webb after she shared a post last night of pretty much somebody congratulating her and going in on the Chicago Sky.
With Angel Reese right in the spotlight and Caitlin Clark watching it all unfold, Bonner didn't hold back. She clapped back, she stirred the pot, and she made sure everyone knew exactly where she stood.
Caitlin Clark knew exactly how Angel Reese was going to react to this. She knew Angel Reese would lose her temper. She knew she would try to cause a scene. Caitlin Clark, she walked away from Angel Reese like she didn't matter.
What looked like just another post-game moment quickly turned into one of the most talked about roast sessions of the season, and now social media is exploding. If you thought the Fever's win was the headline, think again. This question mark, this is something else.
They make it a hate thing. They make it a hate train. It's no, I'm telling you, if I was the coach or the owner, we forfeit in every game. Either we forfeit or Angel will not be in attendance.
Angel Reese fans is calling race, they're sparking a race war on Twitter right now, and it's starting to get national attention. They're attacking white fans, black fans.
The energy inside the arena was electric from the opening tip. You could feel the tension crackling through the air like a storm waiting to erupt. The Indiana Fever came out with something to prove fast, physical, and focused.
She got a big ovation, a lot of support from everyone in Gainesbridge, and she's so deserving of it.
She has tied Tina Thompson for third on the all-time scoring list.
That was the entire game. They were feeling us every cut. We were talking, we were communicating, we were flying around, deflections. One more thing. KK, first WNBA!
Every possession was a statement, and Caitlin Clark set the tone early with her signature court vision and fearless shooting. But the real shock came from the way the Connecticut Sun controlled the tempo. DeWanna Bonner, a seasoned vet with ice in her veins, looked like she had something personal to settle.
DeWanna Bonner, man, Indiana Fever on became the third all-time WNBA leading scorer in history.
Caitlin Clark looks like she's going to be the MVP of the league. Angel Reese made a fool out of herself, and we won by 100, and I won. So we're back in the good mode, back in the winning. Yesterday was tough with the Celtics, but we're back, baby, and it all starts with who? CC, 22, Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese, known for her fiery presence and trash talk, was met with a different kind of fire, one that didn't shout, but burned cold and calculated. The Fever's defense collapsed on her, denying her space, frustrating her every move. And while Reese still managed a double-double, it was clear the game wasn't in her hands. It belonged to Bonner and the Fever, and they were making sure everyone in the building knew it. Every bucket, every steal, every stare down was part of a bigger story that was unfolding right in front of the cameras. And at the center of it was DeWanna Bonner, playing chess while everyone else was still figuring out the rules.
Much like Donnie Carr, Angel Reese relies on the dramatics to generate attention, because just like Donnie, she can't maintain attention based on skill. And the attention-seeking behavior, it started immediately yesterday as Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado decided that they were going to disrespect the country by refusing to come out for the national anthem.
As the game wore on, the spotlight shifted to Angel Reese, not for what she was doing, but for what was being done to her. The confidence that usually radiates from her seemed to crack under the pressure. Every missed layup, every awkward possession, it all added fuel to the growing fire. The crowd felt it, her teammates felt it, and most of all, DeWanna Bonner felt it, and she fed off it.
She immediately loses her temper. She could not believe Caitlin Clark stole her moment. Angel Reese gets off the ground very slowly because everyone seems to be moving in slow motion in the WNBA.
The Angel Reese fan base is full of toxicity right now because they is extremely embarrassed that Angel Reese came to Indiana and laid a goose egg. Now, granted, she did get a double-double.
It wasn't just basketball anymore. It was personal. Late in the second half, Bonner hit a contested shot right in front of Reese and turned with a look that didn't need words. The crowd erupted, but Bonner didn't smile. She didn't celebrate. She just stared. It was a look of dominance, cold, unshaken, and intentional. And when Bonner later shared a post online celebrating her performance, while indirectly throwing shade at Reese and her team, the internet exploded. It wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement.
You know, DB is somebody that, you know, is a Hall of Famer, like a legend, not only a good basketball player, a great person, a great leader. You know, the strongest voice in our locker room is hers. And it's fun to have been around here now for about a month just to get to learn from her and soak it in. And I'm really happy she got to do it at the free throw line and all the fans could go crazy and cheer for her because she certainly deserved that moment. And it was really awesome to see and be a part of.
Keaton gets the triple-double in the midst of it, with people crashing out and crying about stat padding, by the way. And yeah, were they trying to get her a triple-double a little bit? But here's the thing. People always try to draw these equivalencies because they hear a criticism one way.
Reese, still processing the loss and the confrontation, found herself at the center of a storm she didn't fully control. The moment that should have been about the game was now about the message, and that message came loud and clear from DeWanna Bonner. This wasn't just about points on the board. This was a battle for respect, and Bonner had just planted her flag right in the middle of Reese's territory.
So this is the post. I'm going to have to put allegedly on there because DeWanna Bonner deleted it. But allegedly, this is the post DeWanna Bonner put on X. And it stated, congrats, DeWanna Bonner. Chicago needs to get it together. People's kind of pointing fingers at DeWanna Bonner like, you know what? You shouldn't have shared that. She can share what she wanted to share. Now, I believe she later deleted this post. But, man. Watch this, bro. Watch this. Let's head on over to X, dog.
Angel Reese walked into the arena with her usual swagger, the kind of confidence that had become her trademark. But from the jump, it was clear this night was going to test her like never before. Every time she touched the ball, the defense closed in with a purpose. The Indiana crowd was relentless, and so was DeWanna Bonner. There was no space to breathe, no time to think, just pressure, heavy, suffocating pressure.
And DeWanna Bonner represents the old guard, if you will. Not that she's acted like the old guard or in any of the stereotypical ways that the old guard has been portrayed, but just because she is and has been a fixture of the WNBA to the point where she became the third all-time leading scorer, obviously, in that game. And Bonner chose to go to the Fever, which surprised some folks, but shows you more so that it was a basketball-related decision. She knows it's a chance to win another championship. She knows it's a chance to, be a part of a great collective and group, a moment in time, a moment of support, and she expressed how much she was grateful.
Reese fought back, grabbing rebounds, hustling for loose balls, trying to find her rhythm. But something was off. Her movements, usually smooth and commanding, looked rattled. She was frustrated, visibly shaken by the intensity and precision of the Fever's attack. In Bonner, she didn't say much, but her presence said everything. The veteran moved with intention, locking eyes with Reese after big plays, showing her exactly who was in control.
Angel Reese did come away with a double-double. She got 12 points and 17 rebounds. Camila Cardoso didn't really show up, but I was very, very excited about how Aaliyah Boston was facing up against her because Camila Cardoso is so big, and that is one thing that I've been kind of wondering how Aaliyah Boston is going to fare with all these way bigger bigs in the league.
Then came the moment that turned everything viral. Bonner reposted a congratulatory message, a post that didn't just celebrate her achievement, but also took an indirect jab at the Chicago Sky and their young star. The internet caught fire instantly. Fans dissected every word, every emoji, every bit of shade. And suddenly, Reese wasn't just dealing with a tough night on the court, she was in the middle of a social media storm.
These people don't like anybody associated with Clark. Just ignore them. the people that they refer to is none other than the Angel Reese fan base, man. The Angel Reese fan base is full of toxicity right now because they is extremely embarrassed that Angel Reese came to Indiana and laid a goose egg. Now, granted, she did get a double-double, but a goose egg is a goose egg. And I'm telling you right now, she laid the biggest goose egg on national television.
It wasn't about stats anymore. It was about pride, about image, about who really owned the moment. And as DeWanna Bonner stood tall with the scoreboard and the spotlight on her side, Angel Reese was left in unfamiliar territory, quiet, frustrated, and for once outshined.
Angel Reese gets the ball on the post and she has a wide open lane for an easy layup. For reasons unknown, Caitlin Clark decides to foul. It was a rare lapse in judgment from Caitlin Clark. All she had to do was let Angel Reese attempt the wide open layup. The ball would bounce off the bottom of the backboard or end up in some poor kid's lap in the front row. Either way, the Indiana Felines would have possession. But instead, Caitlin Clark decides to foul Angel Reese. Maybe she was just looking out for her. Maybe she was trying to prevent Angel Reese from humiliating herself again on national television.
While all eyes were on the tension between DeWanna Bonner and Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark stood at the center of it all, not with drama, but with dominance. She didn't need to raise her voice or exchange glares. Her statement came through execution. Crisp passes, deep threes, and a poise far beyond her rookie status. Clark wasn't there to talk. She was there to win. Her movements were sharp, her decisions fast. The court seemed to open for her, like she saw the game 2 steps ahead of everyone else. And then, in a historic performance, she did what no one had ever done before, recorded the first triple-double in a WNBA season opener. 20 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. No theatrics, just results. It was a moment that demanded respect, and the arena responded. The cheers were deafening. Even DeWanna Bonner, a legend in her own right, made space for Clark to have her moment.
The Indiana Fever just played their first game against the Chicago Sky, and folks, it was not close. It was not close. I remember my timeline being flooded with people saying it was going to be a good dogfight. It was going to be a close game. It was going to come down to the wire. It was going to be a great one. No, it wasn't. It was a 40-point blowout. And it was a great game on one side. On the other side, it was a little questionable. But we got to see Caitlin Clark in full force. We got to see the new and improved Caitlin Clark. I can't wait to break down the film in this video for you guys, man. She looked amazing. She had a triple-double, a 20-point triple-double. She shot it nearly 50% from the field. She shot it 50% from the 3, y'all. She had 4 blocks. The defense was there. The playmaking was there. The rebounding was there. Everything was there. She looked like the best player in the WNBA.
But what truly spoke volumes was how Clark responded to the scuffle with Reese. When Angel went down hard after a foul and came up swinging, angry, emotional, ready to make it a headline, Clark didn't flinch. She didn't argue, didn't clap back. She walked away. No need to add fuel to the fire, no interest in playing into the drama. That simple act of turning her back and letting the game speak may have been more powerful than anything said or posted online.
That was what elicited the stat padding allegations, right? Not if she was in the game late and happened to get a rebound or a point. And same, with Clark, it stat padding because they're trying to get her a rebound? Sure, I guess. But it's not the egregious level of stat padding. There's a different set of circumstances. Clark wasn't, missing her shot on purpose to try to get a rebound when the Fever had the ball and could have ran the clock out. They're different set of circumstances. Regardless, they both get those moments in the same game. And there was a little bit of a moment, when I asked Caitlin Clark about the additions to the team.
Caitlin Clark knew she had just helped dismantle the Sky. She knew the cameras were watching, that the narratives were being written in real time, and yet she chose silence. She let her performance be her voice, and in a league where every move is magnified, sometimes silence screams the loudest. DeWanna Bonner made history. Caitlin Clark made headlines. And Angel Reese? She walked away with a lesson, one that came wrapped in a loss, a viral post, and a whole lot of noise.
We have to give DeWanna Bonner her flowers because in this game, she moved into third in the league's highest scorer in her first game with the Indiana Fever.
Angel Reese came to Indiana and laid a goose egg. Now, granted, she did get a double-double.
Kelsey Mitchell's her ability to score, and Aaliyah Boston looked really good as the game went along. And Lexi Hull brings the energy, and that's the core. But with those additions,
but a goose egg is a goose egg.
We have to give DeWanna Bonner her flowers because in this game,
this wasn't just a game, it was a message. And if tonight proved anything, it's that in the WNBA, the drama is just as real as the basketball. Stay tuned, this rivalry is only just getting started.